What you are about to see should not exist. In one of the driest places on Earth, coconuts are growing. Not small, not weak, giant coconuts. Heavy, fully developed. Right here, in the middle of the Gobi Desert. This makes no sense, because coconut trees like Cocos nucifera need very specific conditions. They need heat, but also humidity. They need water. A lot of water. They grow near oceans, on tropical coasts, not in dry deserts, not in cold nights, not in places with almost no rain. But here, temperatures swing from extreme heat to freezing cold. Water is rare. Soil is poor. These trees survived. And not only survived, they produced massive coconuts, larger than normal, thicker shells, more liquid inside. This shocked scientists, because coconuts are sensitive. They cannot adapt easily. But here, something changed. Either the environment or the method. Before we go back to day one, answer this. Do you think coconuts can grow in a desert? Comment yes or no, backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, we go back to the beginning. Day 1. Before the coconuts, there was nothing. Only rock. Only sand. Endless, empty land. This is the Gobi Desert. One of the harshest environments on Earth. Rain is rare. In some areas, it falls only a few times a year. Sometimes less. The soil is not rich. It is dry, loose, and often mixed with stone. It cannot hold water. It cannot feed plants. Temperatures are extreme. During the day, it can be very hot. At night, it can drop below freezing. This sudden change damages roots, stops growth, kills most crops. Even strong plants struggle here. But coconut trees like Cocos nucifera have no chance. They need constant warmth, stable temperature, high humidity, and large amounts of water, usually near oceans, near tropical coastlines. Not here. Never here. For hundreds of years, no coconut has grown in this land. No farms, no green systems, only survival. And even that is rare. So why choose this place? Why test coconuts here? Because if they can grow in the worst place, they can grow anywhere. The land was marked, measured carefully, every step planned. No space for mistakes. Because in this environment, one small error means total failure. At this moment, there are no trees, no leaves, no life, only a dry surface. And a risky idea. Before we continue, do you think anything can grow here? Comment yes or no, backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, they begin transforming the desert itself. Nothing grows here. So the land had to change. In the middle of the Gobi Desert, scientists began the transformation. First, they marked long sections of land. Straight lines. Measured carefully, because coconut roots need space, deep space. Then digging started. The top layer was loose, dry sand mixed with stone. No nutrients, no structure. Below it, the ground became harder, compact, cold at night, hot during the day, unstable. This confirmed one thing. Natural soil could not support life here. So they brought in new soil. Dark, rich, full of organic material. This soil could hold water. It could store nutrients. It could protect roots. Layer by layer, the trenches were filled. Black lines appeared across the desert. A sharp contrast. Dark against pale sand. But soil alone was not enough. Coconut trees like Cocos nucifera need constant water. A lot of water. So they built a system. Black drip irrigation pipes, hidden under the soil. These pipes released water slowly, drop by drop by drop. This prevented evaporation, saved water, and protected the roots. Then, wind protection was added. Low barriers placed along the rows. Because strong desert winds can damage young plants. Everything was controlled. Soil, water. For the first time, this land had balance. It was no longer wild desert. It was prepared ground, ready for life. But preparation is not success. Because coconuts are difficult, sensitive, demanding. The real test was about to begin. Before we continue, do you think this setup is enough for coconuts? Comment enough or not enough, backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up, subscribe bell. Because next, they plant one of the hardest trees to grow. Now comes the most dangerous step. Planting. Coconut trees are not easy to grow. Especially Cocos nucifera. They need warmth, stable temperature, constant moisture. And here, in the Gobi Desert, none of that is natural. The trees arrive as young saplings. Small, green, extremely sensitive. Each one is a risk if one fails. The system is not perfect. Planting begins slowly, one tree at a time. Each sapling is placed into the prepared soil. Not too deep, not too shallow. Because coconut roots grow wide. They need space. They need air. Then support is added. Strong wooden stakes, tied carefully to each tree. Because desert winds are powerful. They can break young trunks easily. Then comes the most critical part. Water. The drip system activates. Water flows slowly into the soil. Controlled. Precise. Because coconut trees need a lot of water. But too much at once can damage roots. Balance is everything. Now the trees stand still. No movement, no visible growth. Because the real work is happening underground. Roots are spreading, searching for water, trying to adapt. Hours pass, then days. Still no change. This is the most fragile stage. Because failure is silent, a tree can die. Without any warning. And no one knows yet if these trees will survive. Before we continue, be honest. Do you think these trees made it? Comment survive or fail, backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, we see the first sign of life. At first, nothing changed. The trees stood still, no new leaves, no visible growth. Only heat. Only wind and the Gobi Desert. This is where most plants fail. Silently, without warning. Coconut trees like Cocos nucifera are extremely sensitive. They need stable conditions. Warm air, constant moisture, protection from stress. But here, temperatures shift fast. Day to night. Hot to cold. This shock can stop growth completely. Scientists watched closely. Every hour mattered. Every drop of water mattered. Days passed. Still nothing. Then, one morning, a small change appeared. A new leaf. Bright green. Soft. Fresh. This was the first sign. The trees had survived. The roots had adapted. They found balance between heat and water. This changed everything. Because survival means one thing. Growth is possible. More leaves began to appear. Slowly. Then steadily. The trees were still fragile, but stronger than before. The desert was no longer empty. For the first time, there was green. And that green meant hope. Before we continue, did you expect this? Comment yes or no, backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, growth becomes faster. At first, growth was slow, uncertain, fragile. Then, everything changed. The trees began to grow faster. Much faster. Leaves expanded. Longer. Stronger. Deeper green. New fronds appeared. Wide and flexible. The structure became stable. This was unexpected. Because the environment is extreme. In the Gobi Desert, temperature shifts are violent. Hot days. Cold nights. This should slow growth, not accelerate it. But something different was happening. Sunlight here is constant, strong, unfiltered. No clouds, no shade. This gives the trees more energy, more light for photosynthesis. Below the surface, water is controlled. The drip system delivers exact amounts. Not too much, not too little. This balance is rare. Heat above, moisture below. And coconut trees like Cocos nucifera adapted. Their roots spread deeper, searching, stabilizing, holding the soil. Their leaves became tougher, more resistant to wind, more resistant to dryness. So, the trees were no longer small. They stood taller, stronger, visible from a distance. Green lines appeared across the desert, cutting through the empty land. The transformation was real. The desert was changing. Before we continue, did you expect faster growth in this environment? Comment faster or impossible backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up, subscribe bell. Because next, the first coconuts will begin to form. Then one day, something changed. High on the trees, small shapes appeared. At first, hard to notice. Hidden between the leaves. These were the first signs. The beginning of coconuts. Tiny formations. Round, green, fragile. This stage is critical, because not every flower becomes a fruit. Coconut trees like Cocos nucifera rely on pollination. In tropical regions, wind and insects help this process. But here, in the Gobi Desert, insects are rare. Wind is strong, but unpredictable. So pollination becomes uncertain. Scientists monitored closely, watching each cluster, each formation. Because if pollination fails, the fruit will fall. And the experiment fails. Days passed. The small formations remained. They did not fall. They grew. Slowly. Then more appeared. Clusters forming along the stems. This was the turning point. Because now, the trees were not just surviving. They were producing fruit. Even in this environment, even under stress, the desert was no longer limiting growth. It was supporting it. But one question remained. Will these fruits survive to full size? Before we continue, do you think these coconuts will fully grow? Comment grow or fail backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, the coconuts begin to expand. At first, the coconuts were small, normal size, nothing unusual. Then, they did not stop growing. Day after day, they became larger, faster than expected. In the Gobi Desert, sunlight is constant, strong, unfiltered. This gives the trees more energy, more growth. Below the surface, water remains controlled, steady, precise. This creates balance, a rare balance. Heat above, moisture below. And coconut trees like Cocos nucifera responded. The fruits expanded. Their shells thickened. Their structure became stronger. Scientists measured them. Again and again. Each time, the size increased. This was not normal. Coconuts usually grow to a fixed size. But these were exceeding that limit. Some were nearly double. Heavier, denser, more liquid inside. The trees supported the weight. The stems did not break. The fruits remained attached. Stable. This shocked the scientists. Because coconuts are sensitive. They do not usually adapt like this. But here, in extreme conditions, they evolved. They adjusted. They became stronger. The desert was not limiting growth. It was enhancing it. Before we continue, do you think extreme environments can create stronger plants? Comment stronger or no way backhand index pointing down. Like thumbs up. Subscribe bell. Because next, we reveal the final harvest.